pictures that you want to use for your movie. It's best to find all of this stuff before you start. You might also consider creating a diagram and having your teacher scan it in for you so that you have everything here. So you'll see I'm going to make my example about penguins. I found a map of where they're located. I made a little graph about where they spend their time. I have a diagram that a student created and another picture, and then just a little logo that I found that a kid had made that might be your entrance title. So to start, I'm going to click this plus sign right here. My new project I'm going to call Penguins, and you can pick different effects that you can have and it'll create a theme through the titles, the transitions, but I think they look better when you do them yourself. So I would go ahead and hit none and then create. So right now it's generating a brand new movie for me. And my computer's a little bit slow, so this may take a minute. Okay, so here is my blank board that I can drag all my media to create my project. So I can drag them one at a time, or I can select them all, drag them up. It's going to add them to my project, and there they are. Now, it looks like they're very long. I can change how I view them by dragging this bar. So if I have a lot and I want to be able to see them all at once, that's a really good trick to know. Now, I'm thinking that I want my first image to be penguin. So I'm going to click and I just drag, and you'll see where that orange bar was is where it's going to go. Alright, I want this to be here. Then it goes into my map, my diagram, and my drawing showing the different parts of the penguin. So let's start by making sure that the images are, the effect is the way we want them. You'll see as I drag over this picture, it looks like it's zooming in a little bit. What I'm going to do is this button here that looks like a cropping, I'm going to double click, and you'll see there's 3 different effects of how I can view my picture. I can do fit, where if the picture isn't the right ratio to fit the screen, it'll add black bars on either side. I can crop it. I can drag to make smaller or larger. Or I can do what's called the Ken Burns effect, which is where I can add a little movement to my slide. So I'm going to start the image over this way, and I'm going to end it over here. And let's preview. This is what it'll look like. It just makes it a little more interesting rather than just staring at a still picture. So I'm going to hit done. I'm going to do another similar effect to this picture, and I want to make it look like my penguin is swimming. So I'm going to make it start here and end here. Let's preview that. And now it looks like my penguin is swimming. Now, I didn't pick the best pictures. I just grabbed pictures very quickly, so it's not the best quality. And hit done. Now, my map. This is a good example of a picture that you don't really want to have an effect, because otherwise you don't see this part down here where Antarctica is. So I'm just going to select fit and done. And now it stays still. Again, my diagram, I want to fit because I can't see my title. Again, another diagram, double click, and fit. Done. Okay, So we have all of our pictures and we have them formatted in either a Ken Burns effect or a cropped effect. Now I want to do my recording. To do a voiceover, you'll see there's this microphone button. Click the microphone and the voiceover box will pop up. Right now it's showing you that it hears my voice in the microphone. I'm using the built-in microphone, and wherever I want to record my voice, I'm going to click and it's going to count down and I'll do my voiceover. Here you see many penguins hanging out with their family. Now, I don't have a script prepared right now, so I'm just doing this for the example. To stop my recording, I had hit spacebar, and you'll see I now have my voiceover recording. Now, you'll notice that it goes way past the picture that I wanted. I'm going to double click, and right now it's 4 seconds, so I'm going to make it a little bit longer. Let's try 6 seconds. And I recommend clicking and dragging your recording to be about in the middle so you have a little empty space before and after. So now we can preview it. Here you see many penguins hanging out with their family. Okay, so that's how I do a voiceover recording for all of them. So now that you know how to do a voiceover recording, what else is missing from our movie? Well, what about a title? I'm going to go over here, the T, and hit title. I have a lot of titles to choose from. I'm just going to use a very basic title, and I'm going to put it before my first picture. And it's going to give me the option to choose different backgrounds here. And you can preview them over on the right. So since they do spend a lot of their time in water, I'm going to pick this underwater effect. And right now, you can go over and I can edit all about penguins. If I want to change the font or the color or the size, I click the fonts, and over here I can change and pick a different font. Highlight it first. Okay. Here. And if I want to change the color, maybe I want to have it be orange or red or gray. I'm just going to keep it white. And I can hit done. And then I'll hit done here. So this is what it will look like. I might also choose to put ending credits. Since you're doing this with a partner or a group, you want to give everyone credit. Again, I can pick, just for consistency, I recommend picking the same background as the beginning. And it has random names here, so I might say fun facts by, and then your name. And drawing by, and then the name. And this is what it will look like. So I'm going to hit done. Of course, you would add in more. Now, if you notice that it's too fast for the person to read, you can always change the length that the credits scroll for. Okay, so we have our pictures, we have our titles and credits. What else makes this more interesting? Music. So you're going to click this little music icon, and there's really a few categories that you would be picking from. Jingles is really good for like background music, so I can preview a few. And that's kind of a fun one. Now, if I were doing this, I might take a little more time to make it fit what I'm doing. So I'm going to click, I'm going to drag it up to the beginning of my movie. And you'll see all sounds appear in green, as a green bar. So let's take a preview of what this looks like now. Here you see many penguins. Now you'll notice that the music got quieter when it got to my voiceover. It automatically will add that to your effect, to your sound clip. So if I double click and then click audio, you'll see where it says ducking, reduce volume of other tracks too. It automatically does this, so it will lower the volume of your music whenever there's a voiceover. This is really nice that you don't have to remember to do this. One thing to point out is if you talked very quietly, you can make your volume a little bit louder so that we can hear it without having to re-record it. The other cool sound effect is you can add different quick little sounds. These are all very, very short sounds. And one thing I can do is if I want to go up to sound effects, I can search. So maybe I want water. Now that's a longer effect. So maybe I'm going to have that at the end. But that's just a fun way to find different little sound effects to add to your movie to make it more dynamic. Some of these might not apply because you want to make sure that they are appropriate for what your movie is about. So let's scroll down and let's see what this is. So maybe I want to have that right before the movie starts, or before the actual talking starts. So let's see what that looks like. Here you see many. Okay, now that's not the best example, but that's just to show you that you can add quick little sound effects. So you'll notice I have music and a sound effect both going at the same time. Okay, you don't have to add music, but it just definitely makes it a lot more exciting. And if you need to shorten it or make it longer, you simply click and drag the end of it. So that's just one more effect. Now, when you are all done, you go up to Share, and I recommend doing Export using QuickTime because it will make a good quality that can also be shared on social media or YouTube. So I'm going to click, and then right in here is where I would name it and then hit save. And that's it.